Facebook posts to expose his double standards and manipulation. They say action speaks louder than words, and his actions, they expose everything. He wanted people to believe I was the problem. He acted like the poor victim while secretly doing worse behind closed doors. He pretended to be good, faithful husband, but only when people were watching. Here's the truth. While I was out trying to enjoy a moment of freedom, he was watching me, not because he cared, but because he needed to control the narrative. He sent people to monitor me whenever I went out. Meanwhile, he was bringing girls home. He made sure to paint me as the bad wife, while he was the one cheating. He needed to justify his action by twisting the story, so when he finally discarded me, he could play the victim. And now, what is he doing? Running away? Hiding behind his parents? Letting them cover for him, just like before. This isn't just a bad relationship. This is a pattern. And if he did this to me, what makes you think he won't do it again? The more they try to silence me, the louder the truth becomes. If he doesn't settle fairly, I'll keep exposing more every week. I gave them chances, but they took my silence as weakness. Now the world will see exactly who they are. Facebook posts. If anything happens, the world knows who's behind it. Now that I have exposed him online, I know he's very vengeful, but I also know exactly what he is capable of. And now, so will everyone else. This isn't just speculation. This is based on everything he has already done. Hack my phone to track me without my knowledge. Use my own phone as a device to spy on me. Got people to watch me at specific clubs while he was busy bringing girls home. Had entire groups of people in the club pretending they didn't know him when in reality they did. Bribed people to turn against me. Faked his innocence while controlling everything from behind the scene. Destroyed evidence and disappeared whenever he got caught. And now he's quiet, not because he's innocent, but because he's planning. If anything happens to me, the world knows exactly where to look. If I suddenly face false accusations, everyone will know who started them. If people suddenly begin harassing me, they will know who sent them. If I mysteriously disappear, they will know whose hands it's on. If he claims he never hacked my phone, then why not allow a forensic digital examination? He already knows the phone is with me because I informed the court. If I were falsely accusing him, wouldn't he want to prove his innocence? This is an opportunity to ensure that I can take action with the evidence I have. I still have everything. If this message spreads and someone can help me unlock and reveal the truth, please reach out. A man who can manipulate an entire group into pretending they don't know him is a man capable of anything. If he is truly innocent, why not allow a proper investigation? If I were lying, why hasn't he directly responded to my claims? If he believes he is untouchable, why is he so afraid of the truth? I've been patient. I've given chances. But if things aren't handled fairly, I will continue revealing more. Every week, the world is watching. Facebook post. He's silent, but I know his next move. Silent doesn't mean innocence. It means strategizing. And I already know exactly what he's planning. This man has done it all before. And now he's waiting to make his next move. But before he does, let's expose what he's already done. He hacked my phone. He tracked my GPS. He needed to know my exact location at all times. He timed my arrival perfectly so he could bring girls home while I was out. He thought I wouldn't notice, but I did. When he realized I was acting suspicious and seemed to know too much, what did he do? He invaded my privacy. He spied on my movements. He calculated his every action based on what he found out. This wasn't just cheating, it was calculated deception. He used technology to cover his tracks. He used surveillance to control the situation. He used manipulation to keep the lies going. And now he's quiet, but he's not done. A man like this doesn't just give up. He waits. He's strategizing his next attack, planning his next move. He thinks, I don't see it coming, but I do. And now, so does everyone else. If anything happens, everyone will know where to look. If my phone suddenly gets hacked again, we know who did it. If I started facing strange accusation, we know who's behind it. If anyone tries to silence me, we know exactly who is responsible. He played this game before, but now the world is watching. He's watching, he's tracking, and he's calculating. People think abusers only harm you when they are physically there. But what if I told you he was watching, tracking, and controlling me, even when I was out with friends or running errands? Let's expose how far he went. Hack my phone to monitor my movement. Use home devices to spy on me, even when he wasn't physically present. Activated voice control system to eavesdrop on conversations. Watch me through home security devices to know who I spoke to and what I was doing. Had enablers reporting back to him, people who pretended to be neutral but helped him stay one step ahead. This wasn't paranoia. This was calculated control. He knew exactly when I was out, so he could bring someone home behind my back. So he could play innocent while betraying me. So he could manipulate situations in his favor. If they were truly innocent, why did they choose silence? And now he's quiet. But don't mistake silence for surrender. He is calculating his next move. He knows how to bribe. He knows how to manipulate. He knows how to twist the story in his favor. But here's where he failed. I saw through every one of his games. I collected evidence on every move he made. I exposed the truth before he could rewrite history. If anything happens to me, I want you all to know he is the one responsible. He is the one with a history of manipulation, hacking, and control. He is the one trying to silence me now that I've spoken up. And his enablers, they know the truth, but choose to look away because they benefit from his lies. I am speaking up not just for myself, but for the next victim. Because if I stay silent, more people will suffer. If I let this go, he will keep doing this. If I stop now, he wins. So let me be clear. This is just the beginning. More people need to know. More people need to see his true colors. More people need to recognize the danger before it's too late. If he thought he could erase me, silence me, or control the story, he was dead wrong. The truth is out, and now the world is watching. Who benefits the most? The truth behind his silence. Let's talk about who gains the most if I disappear. He wants to marry a Muslim woman, but he is still legally married to me. If I'm gone, nothing stands in his way. So what is his next move? Silence me, remove me, erase any evidence that could stop his plan. If he has already been ruthless in every way I've exposed, do you really think he won't go further? If anything happens to me, who benefits the most? If I suddenly disappear, who gets exactly what they want? If I can no longer speak, who is finally free from accountability? There is only one answer. It will be him and his family. This is why the world must watch. Because his silence isn't innocent, it's calculation. Because I have revealed his true nature and he knows the walls are closing in. Because if anything happens to me and my family, everyone will already know who is responsible. I refuse to be erased. I refuse to be silenced. The truth is out, and it cannot be stopped. Preemptive pose. If anything happens to me, he is responsible. Let this be known to everyone watching. I've already exposed the truth. I have backed up everything with real evidence. I have publicly stated that if anything happens to me, he and his family are responsible. There are only a few things left that he can do, and I will address them now. If he tries to release personal information or embarrass me, I stand by everything I have said. There's nothing he can expose that will change the facts. Anything personal he tries to leak will only prove his desperation to shift the blame. The more he tries to attack me, the more he shows the world who he really is. What I will do, I will immediately document, screenshot, and expose his attempts to harass me. I will report all attempts to law enforcement and use it as further proof of his abuse. I will turn the attacks back on him, showing how a guilty man behaves when he has no other options. If he tries to frame me for a crime, this is his most dangerous move, but I am already ahead of him. I have publicly stated that if he tries to falsely accuse me of anything, it's a setup. He has a history of deception, and I have proof of his lies. The law will see through him. He cannot fake evidence against me because I have real, undeniable evidence against him. What I will do, I'm making this statement public now so that if any false accusations appear, everyone knows who is behind it. I will immediately counter it with evidence, proving his patterns of manipulation. I will inform authorities ahead of time that he may attempt this. If he tries to silence me completely, extreme measures, he knows the world is watching. He knows I have already named him as responsible if anything happens to me. He knows that any harm done to me immediately leads back to him. What I will do, I will keep posting and making noise so that he knows he can't make me disappear. I will share my full evidence with trusted people who will expose everything if I ever go silent. I will ensure every move he makes is documented so that he has nowhere to hide. Let this be clear. If I'm falsely accused of anything, he is behind it. If any personal information is leaked, he is behind it. If I go missing or something happens to me, he and his enablers are responsible. The world is watching, and I will not be silent. Why no one sees the manipulation? Because he knows how to act. People don't see him as the manipulator because he plays the role of the victim so well. He knows exactly who to manipulate, when to do it, and how to twist the truth. He studies people, he calculates their weaknesses, their emotions, their desires. He knows if they are greedy, naive, or easily influenced, and he adjusts his game accordingly. That's why he never picks strong-willed people to manipulate. He looks for those he can influence, charm, and control. He plays the poor me act so they feel sorry for him. And before they realize it, they are already caught in his game. If he treated me this way, what do you think he will do to the next one? Same script, different person. He will repeat the cycle just with a new target. He won't stop because people like him never change. They just get better at hiding. So for those who still defend him, wake up. Just because someone cries doesn't mean they are the victim. Just because someone plays weak doesn't mean they are innocent. Just because he says one thing doesn't mean it's the truth. Manipulation is his skill, his power, his way of surviving. But the more he plays his game, the more obvious it becomes. And now the world is watching. His next move? Predictable. The drunken egg, a trap for secrets. He is a good drinker, but sometimes he pretends to be drunk. Why? Because when people believe he is intoxicated, they let their guard down. They share secrets, thinking he's too out of it to remember. But he does. He fakes being drunk, so people will expose their secrets. He listens, absorbs, and stores those secrets. When the moment is right, he weaponizes them for control. When angry or feeling powerful, he leaks secrets without care. Secrets are never safe with him. They are currency he trades. The master of fake vulnerability, I've seen him use this trick countless times. He cries convincingly, real tears flowing. He plays the victim so well that even those who dislike him start to sympathize. He makes people feel emotionally connected to him, as if he's just like them. He uses this sympathy to manipulate and gain trust. But it's all an act. His vulnerability is nothing but a strategy. Even I fell for it. So have many others. Illusions of profit. The crypto game. People do make money with him in crypto because he genuinely knows how to profit. But what they don't realize is that his money isn't just from crypto. He is doing something else in the background, something most people don't see. He positions himself as an expert, making people trust his financial decisions. He uses his crypto success as a bait to hook people into following him. People who want financial gain feels compelled to stay close to him. By keeping them attached, he builds loyalty not through friendship, but through financial dependence. His skills are real, but his intentions are calculated. How he turns enemies into friends. People who once disliked him suddenly change their mind. Why? He creates a bond, making them feel like he's their closest buddy. He spends time drinking or socializing, disarming their initial doubts. He makes them feel included, valued, and understood. But behind the scenes, he never truly likes them. He only tolerates them as long as they serve a purpose. Everything he does is a performance for influence and control. Selective memory, the convenient forgetfulness. When he wants something, his memory is sharp and detailed. When confronted, he suddenly forgets past conversations and promises. He only remembers what serves him. He pretends to forget things until he needs them, then suddenly recalls details with precision. His forgetfulness isn't real. It's either manipulation or the result of too many lies stacking up. Why do some people still defend him? It's not just blind loyalty, it's calculated. Some defend him because they truly believe his lies, but others, they know the truth and still stand by him. Why? Because they benefit from him. I've seen it. I know it. They stay silent not because they don't know, but because they don't want to lose what he gives them. Whether it's money, status, connections, or simply being on his good side, they play along. They pretend like they know nothing, but deep down they know exactly what he has done. They think staying silent makes them safe. Wrong. The more they defend him, the more they expose themselves. They are part of his system, the ones who enable his manipulations. And when the truth fully comes out, they will just be as guilty. So to those who still defend him, even knowing the truth, what happens when he no longer needs you? What happens when you become the next one discarded? Do you really think he won't do to you what he did to me? Wake up. You are not special to him. You are just useful. And when you are no longer useful, you will see the real him. I've given enough warnings. You can choose to stay blind. But when the day comes that you realize the truth, it will be too late. And you remember this message. Why did he hack my phone? The truth exposed. He knew I was changing. He saw the shift in my behavior. He noticed I was no longer blindly following his manipulations. He felt his control slipping. So, what did he do? He hacked my phone. He needed to track my every move. He wanted to monitor who I spoke to, where I went, and what I was thinking. He feared losing control over me. So, he invaded my privacy. Even his friends know, but they will never stand up for the truth. One of his friends once told me his phone almost hacked too, which means he knew he was doing something shady because he was using his Wi-Fi. But in the end, none of them will ever expose him. Why? Because they all know what kind of influence he has and benefits they get from him. And they are afraid to go against him. I now know none of them can be trusted. A man who is secure doesn't need to spy on his partner. But a manipulator, a narcissist, he needs to control every aspect of your life. He needed to ensure I wasn't uncovering the truth about him. And it didn't stop there. While he was busy tracking me, he was also sneaking around. He made sure he had a cover, places where people would lie for him, a club where people pretend not to know him, a network of people willing to fake stories for him. That's not a coincidence. That's planned. And the biggest proof, if I was wrong about him, why did he go to such extreme length to monitor me? If he had nothing to hide, why was he so afraid of what I might find out? If he was innocent, why did he act so guilty? He assumed I wouldn't figure out his patterns. He believed I would never expose the truth. But now, everything is coming to light. If he could go this far, just to keep control, what else is he capable of? What more does he have to hide? And how many more people is he deceiving? The truth always wins, and I'm making sure everyone sees it. If he's the real victim, why is he the one who keeps suing me? He calls himself the victim. But let's question that. If he is truly the victim, why is he the one who keeps suing me? If he is truly the victim, why is he the one with all the legal power? If he is truly the victim, why hasn't he attended a single court session himself? The reality, while I stood alone in court, he sent his lawyer. While I fought for fairness, he stayed in another country, living his life without consequences. While I suffered, he moved on with multiple women, untouched by any of it. I even have evidence of that. The victim who keeps suing me. Does this make sense? Throughout this entire divorce process, the quarrel, and even after moving on with his new girlfriend, he keeps suing me. So I ask this question to everyone watching. If he's the real victim, why is he the one who holds all the power in this situation? If he is the real victim, why is he taking me to court repeatedly? Shouldn't I be the victim, the one who suffered, the one who was discarded? But here's how he manipulates the story. He makes himself look weak. He cries real tears. He tells the most tragic version of events, and it doesn't stop there. His parents back him up, repeating the same lies. They say I'm the bad one, that I did everything wrong. They cover for everything he has done, while making sure he looks like the poor, helpless victim. But let's break this down logically. Who is truly being attacked here? He has money, power, and control. He has people protecting him and covering up his lies. And yet, he keeps targeting me, filing lawsuit, controlling the narrative, and ensuring I suffer. Is that what a real victim does? A real victim doesn't try to destroy someone further. A real victim doesn't use the legal system as a weapon. A real victim doesn't ensure their abusers is left with nothing. So I ask again, who is the real victim here? The one fighting for fairness, or the one using every resource possible to manipulate and destroy? The world needs to ask, who is truly suffering? The one who is fighting alone in court, or the one hiding behind lawyers, avoiding responsibility and running away? He isn't the victim. He's the one controlling the narrative, and soon the world will see the full truth. The truth about his vengefulness, why no one is safe. You know how I know he's vengeful? Because I gave him multiple chances, even in court, even with clear evidence against him. He refused to be fair. Instead of making things right, he chose to be even more ruthless. This is the real him. When I exposed his manipulations, he doubled down. His tactics became worse. He flipped into someone unrecognizable because the mask came off. But here's what's terrifying. If this is how he treated me, his own wife, what do you think he does to people he has no control over? If this is how he fights against someone who gave him chances, how does he treat those he sees as disposable? He doesn't just manipulate, he destroys anyone who doesn't align with him. He thought my kindness was my weakness. He believed that if I kept giving him chances, he could take advantage of me forever. He mistook patience for blindness. He assumed that I would never fight back. But now, the world is seeing who he really is. And this time, there's no manipulation that can rewrite the truth. No lie that can erase what's already out in the open. For anyone who still thinks he is harmless, think again. If he can turn against the person who once loved him, he can do it to anyone. If he could betray and manipulate me, he will do the same to others. No one is truly safe from someone like this. This is why the truth must be exposed, because his next victim won't see it coming. His expensive gifts and public Facebook posts, were they really for me, or were they just for show? Think about it. If he already planned to divorce me in 2022, why would he go out of his way to make those grand gestures? Was it really out of love? Or was it just a performance for others to see? Narcissists thrive on image. They don't just manipulate people privately. They craft a perfect public story. The gifts weren't about me. They were about making him look like the perfect husband. He needed a backup story. So when he discarded me, he could say, "Look how much I did for her." It was all part of the act. He was building a false narrative before making his exit. He wanted to make sure people would see me as ungrateful if I ever exposed him. The truth, he was already planning to leave while playing the devoted partner. So, was it for me? No, it was for everyone else. A distraction, a cover-up, a carefully crafted illusion. And now, that illusion is shattered. The text I was referring to on the second video, "I need a wife for LTVP and PR," tells me everything I need to know about his intentions. This was never about love. It was about convenience. He wasn't looking for a life partner. He was looking for a tool to secure his residency. Marriage for him wasn't about commitment. It was a transaction. What does this say about him? He views relationships as a means to an end. He was willing to use someone just to obtain legal status. He likely did the same thing to me. And now he's repeating the cycle. And what about the new girl? She probably has no idea she's being played. He is likely love bombing her, making her feel special just like he did to me. But the reality, she's just a stepping stone for his personal gain. So what does this prove? That everything I suspected was true. That his actions were calculated from the start. That he never truly loved. He just needed someone to use. And now I'm exposing it. He needed me not for love, but for his own gain. The truth is out. He sent a message to another girl saying, I need a wife for long-term visit pass and PR. What does this mean? He didn't marry for love. He married for residency and status. I was never his partner. I was a stepping stone to his goal. Now he's doing the exact same thing with someone else. And his new wife, does she even know the real reason behind their marriage? Just like me, she's being used for his personal benefit. When he no longer needs her, she will be discarded, just like I was. The world needs to know. This wasn't love. This was a transaction. He manipulates, lies, and deceives to get what he wants. And now he can't escape the truth. They thought they could hide it. But the evidence speaks for itself. The perfect husband or the perfect manipulator. Let's talk about the illusion he created. He posted expensive gifts, grand gestures, and loving words on Facebook. But was it really for me? Or was it for everyone else to see? This is classic manipulation. He needed to portray himself as the perfect loving husband. He wanted people to believe he was kind, caring, and generous. He built an image so no one would ever suspect the truth. But here's the real question. If he truly loved me, why did he send a message to another girl saying he needed a wife for long-term visit pass and PR? If he was so devoted, why did I have to expose his lies? If he was genuine, why was he planning his exit while putting on a show? The truth is clear. He doesn't feel guilty. He feels entitled. He wants to be seen as a hero, not the one at fault. He played the role of a loving husband publicly while secretly planning his next move. His Facebook posts weren't about love. They were about control, to gain sympathy, to protect his reputation, to ensure no one would ever believe what he was really doing behind closed doors. So, would anyone suspect he wasn't a good husband? No, that was his plan all along. What you saw versus what I live. Do you really know how he treated me? The grand Facebook posts, the gift, the romantic words, they were all for show. Behind closed doors, it was the complete opposite. This is how he set the stage. In public, he played the perfect husband. In private, he was cold, manipulative, and cruel. He made sure that when no one was watching, his true self emerged. But here's the worst part. He wasn't just acting like a good husband. He was strategically setting me up to look like the problem. He would trigger me on purpose, provoking arguments, and pushing my buttons. Then, when I reacted, he stepped back and played the victim. What did this achieve? It made it look like I was always the one causing problems. It gives him the excuse to walk away guilt-free. It made outsiders see me as the angry ones, while he played the calm, composed victim. This is calculated abuse. It's not love. It's a setup. It's about destroying your credibility before he even leaves. It's about making sure when he walks away, he looks like the hero and you look like the villain. So now ask yourself, was it love or was it just another performance? Blinded by love, betrayed by reality. Imagine being so deeply in love, trusting someone completely, only to wake up one day and realize it was all an illusion. That's the real nightmare. But I wasn't completely blind. Before he even tried to divorce me, I already knew he was a narcissist. For almost 2 years, I studied him in silence. I wanted to know, was there real love or was I just being used? And what did I find? A carefully orchestrated performance. A man who never truly loved, only manipulated. Someone who never felt guilty for hurting others. as long as they were still useful to him. Now that I've shattered his curated image, what happens next? His silence isn't peace, it's strategy. He is not reflecting, he's plotting. He won't feel guilt, only the need for revenge. This is why I walk away from love. Because a person who truly loves you would never be this cruel. Because I gave him every opportunity to solve things peacefully. Okay? And he only blamed me more. Because no matter how much you love a narcissist, they will never see your kindness as kindness. To them, everything is black and white. You are either useful or discarded. You are either on their sides or an enemy to be destroyed. Even if they are doing evil, they will still believe you are the villain. If anything happens to me, let this be clear. A person who is capable of this level of manipulation, deception, and control is also capable of far worse. Silent doesn't mean innocent. It means preparation. If I go quiet, if anything happens, there is only one person responsible. I'm not staying silent. The more people who know the truth, the less he can hide. Awareness is the greatest defense. Spread this message. The truth behind their smear campaign. When a narcissist discards you, it's never clean. It's never honest. They don't just walk away. They destroy your reputation first. They need to paint you as the villain so they can look like the victim. They will smear your name, attack your family, and rewrite the entire story to fit their narrative. How do they do it? They start picking fights. They provoke you on purpose. They push you to react so they can turn around and call you crazy. And the worst part, they plan this before they even leave you. They make sure everyone around them sees a reason for the breakup. They tell friends, family, and even their new partner that you were the problem, all while hiding their own actions. So when the divorce happens, guess what? They walk away looking innocent. They convince people they had no choice. They make sure you are the one left defending yourself. This isn't about me. This is their pattern. The next person will go through the same cycle. The lies, the manipulation, the games, it will never stop. But here's where they failed. This time, I have proof. Every action, every lie, every game is all exposed. The truth isn't just my words. It's backed by evidence. No matter how hard they try to run, they can't rewrite reality. If anything happens to me, if they try to silence me, remember this. The real guilty ones always have something to hide. And the louder their lies, the more desperate they are to bury the truth. I will not be erased. Every week, more will be revealed. The world is watching now, and no matter how much they try to hide, the truth is already out. They thought they could manipulate everyone. They thought their innocent image would protect them. They thought playing the victims would keep people on their side. They thought they could erase the truth and silence me. But here's what they never expected. I'm exposing everything. When parents cover up their son's wrongdoing, they are no longer just parents. When they actively participate in manipulation, they become accomplices. They aren't victims. Think about it. If they were truly innocent, why were they afraid of the truth? If they did nothing wrong, why do they need to hide behind lies? If they believe they are right, why don't they step forward and defend themselves? Because they know exactly what they did. They didn't just stand by. They helped to orchestrate everything. They played their role in smearing my name. They covered for their son while he tried to destroy me. They thought that by pretending to be vulnerable, no one would suspect them. But no one plays the victim better than a guilty person. They carefully crafted an image of innocence. They manipulated people into believing their side of the story. They twisted the truth so their son wouldn't have to take responsibility. The real question isn't whether I should expose them. The real question is, Why should they be allowed to get away with it? If they truly believe they did nothing wrong, why are they silent now? If they are so confident in their lies, why are they running? Let me make this clear. This isn't just about one person. This is about an entire system of enablers. This is about people who stand by and let abusers walk free. This is about holding every single person accountable. So they have two choices. They can face the truth and take responsibility. Or they can watch as I continue to expose everything piece by piece. They thought they could silence me, but now the world is watching, and the truth is louder than ever. How I was tricked into signing away my rights. The truth about the house in Italy. Trust is a powerful thing, and sometimes the people you trust the most are the ones who betray you the worst. In February 2022, I was asked to sign a document at the Italian embassy. I didn't understand the document because it was in Italian. There was no translator provided. My husband told me it was just a witness signature, so I trusted him. But before I signed, I told my father about it, and he warned me, do not sign anything you don't understand. And that moment, I still chose to trust my husband. But my father gave me one last piece of advice. If you are going to sign it, take a photo of the document. So I did. That photo became the proof of the deception. What was I actually signing? I was unknowingly giving up my rights to the house in Italy. The document was part of a tax evasion scheme involving his mother and him. They used my name to avoid paying taxes without my full understanding or consent. So, was I tricked into signing? Because they knew I trusted him. Because they wanted to keep their hands clean while using my name. Because they thought I would never question it. But they were wrong. When my father saw the document, he immediately realized what they were doing. He even reported it to the Italian authorities. But since I was 21 years old, his complaint alone wasn't enough. That was the email I was referring to, dated back in 2022 in the second video. Now I'm taking action myself. The truth cannot stay hidden forever. They manipulated me into signing a document I didn't understand. They thought they could get away with it because I was too naive and I wouldn't be able to find the evidence. They thought I would never expose them. To everyone watching, learn from my mistake. Never sign anything you don't fully understand. And always listen to the people who have your best interest at heart. If something feels off, question it before it's too late. This isn't just about money or a house. This is about deception, manipulation, and betrayal. And to those involved, you should be very worried because this time I have the proof and I'm speaking up. The deception runs deep. How they tried to silence the truth. When I exposed their deceit in the second video, I mentioned something crucial. To cover their lies, they had to silence the truth. Discrediting was their weapon. They needed to make sure no one believed my side of the story. They had to paint an image of themselves as innocent victims. And in doing so, they make it look like my father was the one in the wrong. But I saw through it all. I watched as they manipulated the narrative, twisting events to make themselves look blameless. And while I remained silent, I was observing everything, every lie, every contradiction, every strategic move. Seeing my father go through this, how could I not be angry? Imagine watching your own father being falsely accused, watching people smearing his name while knowing the truth was the complete opposite. I wasn't just angry, I was determined. I knew my rights. I knew the only way to fight this was with evidence. So I stayed silent. Not out of fear, but out of strategy. Because I needed proof. Because I needed to expose them properly. Because if I spoke too soon, they would twist everything once again. The loophole I discovered: the moment everything makes sense,